Now we're going to look at to clear the vertebral artery. It's important to clear the vertebral artery if you're going to do any end-range rotation mobilizations like a grade 4, and most definitely if you're going to do any manipulation to the upper, mid, or lower cervical spine. So things that we want, that patients may complain of that may be influencing the vertebral artery, any dizziness, facial numbness, difficulty swallowing, difficulty speaking, but we would have gathered that through our subjective exam. So once again, like everything else, we established, do they have any resting symptoms? Not. Now we have them extend, and let me have you look up. And here we make sure their eyes are open. We're looking at their eyes, looking for any nystagmus, looking for any reproduction of symptoms. And here we hold them for 10 seconds. And if they haven't, we come back up. Then we rest for 10 seconds. Making sure nothing has happened since holding up their neck. If that's negative, then we have them be a little bit more aggressive, where we're going to add rotation. So here we have them turning their head, and here I'm looking and making sure there are any nystagmus. Do they have any increased in symptoms? I may even ask them certain questions to see if they have any difficulty speaking or anything like that, if that's what I gathered in their subjective exam. Once again, 10 seconds, come back, and then have them rotate to their right and hold again for 10 seconds. I will ask them certain questions and also looking for nystagmus. And coming back. Now, since turning your head is going to influence your inner ear, and inner ear obviously has a huge component with balance and dizziness, to rule that out, what we can do is make sure we keep their head nice and stable, obviously establishing their resting symptoms again. And then let me have you turn your trunk to your left for me. And here they will turn the trunk. And I'll hold here for 10 seconds, seeing if there's any increase in symptoms, and then having come back, rest for 10 seconds, and for time's sake, hold the hair and have them turn. And once again, looking for nystagmus, and I can ask them certain questions, just seeing if they have any difficulty speaking, if that was one of their complaints. If that hasn't reproduced, let's say, their dizziness, and they've come in with complaints of dizziness, if they have not come in with complaints of dizziness, then that would be that would complete your vertebral artery. But if you were doing a manipulation, what you would want to do is do a pre-manip hold, and hold that position for 10 seconds for whatever manipulation technique you were going to use on the cervical spine. But if you weren't going to do that, and they weren't coming in with complaints of dizziness, then you can say that you have cleared the vertebral artery. But if they did complain of dizziness, and none of that really reproduced, or they complained of possible vertebral artery problem, then we're going to put them in a supine position. Let me have you on your back. Here I'm going to hold their head, ask them to come to the edge of the bed. I'm going to raise the plinth up just a little bit here. So I'm going to hold their head, ask them any symptoms, make sure they keep their eyes open, because here patients will tend to want to close their eyes because they feel nice and relaxed. And I'm going to take them into extension, all the way to end range, and any looking at nystagmus, any increase or decrease, again holding for 10 seconds, resting for 10 seconds. Then I'm going to take them into rotation. I'm going to take them to their end, or wherever pain allows, and hold for 10 seconds, again looking for nystagmus in their eyes. Hold for 10 seconds, rest for 10 seconds, and again, taking them into rotation and keeping their eyes open. Hold for 10 seconds. And if that hasn't reproduced any of their dizziness, then I'm going to take them into extension and rotation. And again, holding for 10 seconds, resting for 10 seconds up top, and again taking them into extension and rotation. And that concludes the vertebral artery exam.